Good morning, all, and once again, welcome to this webinar. A few days long back, I came across one saying from this great man, Mr. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So it says, "All birds find shelter during rain, but an eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds." So I thought this would be an apt saying for this moment because everyone is going through the hardships of Corona. It can be personal, or it can be in the career-wise, or in the work environments. So I thought, let me just share this, and maybe we can all stay together, and we can come out of this particular pandemic with more benefits and in good colors at the end of it. So with this, let us start our today's webinar. And today's agenda goes like this: we will see the industry challenges of medtech industry. What are the major challenges that a medical device industry now faces, and what is the SolidWorks solution that we are going to present, and initial visual roadmap. And we'll see a customer case studies of a few SolidWorks customers in India and abroad, as well as a final roadmap. So in this particular SolidWorks solution today, what we are going to see is it is not limited to one product or one line of department. So we'll have a collaborative, connected, and a multidisciplinary team acting on one product within a single platform. So today we are going to concentrate on that. With that, let us start with the industry challenges. So medtech industry is a medical device industry, or a medtech industry is a more challenging industry than other industries or industry verticals rather. Why? In a way, every industry faces this problem in the or challenge when they're developing a new product, like feasibility, how it can be used, and what is the cost effectiveness of it, and etc. But medical industry is one industry which has additional challenges when it comes to sterilization of a product, biocompatibility of a product, and also the regulatory compliance, which is the biggest hurdle to cross for a medical device to get into the market. So these are few which are very common and which are very major challenges, like the shorter time to market because of competition with the major companies, and as well as minor small scale companies which are also coming into the market with new products. And every now and then there is a change in the product, if you see. Okay. And innovative product design is one which is also very much important, because whenever they start creating a device, or whenever they start designing a device, a lot of inputs is taken from a doctor, from a physician, from the patient about the device, how it has to look and how it has to feel when they use it, and how easy it is to use. So all these also count for the innovative product design, which gives them the edge over the competition. And next would be the minimization of cost, which is the most essential, because the medical devices are used to save lives in some cases, and obviously to for the treatment of the patients, and it has to be the cost has to be minimal, and for the better product. And the last two are the most important parameters when it comes to, and unique parameters when it comes to the medical device industry. One is the patient and the user safety, which is again, there are safety guidelines which are prescribed, or which are laid out by the regulatory firms or the agencies. And the last would be, once the product is ready and we are and it goes through a regulatory compliance from the agencies like FDA and other agencies which are present for the approval, and then the product is out. So these are the challenges where a medical device industry faces. And when it comes to SolidWorks solution, we are an end-to-end solution providers. I would like to give a brief of what are the different solutions that are available inside SolidWorks, but we'll also take you in deep with all the solutions that you are going to see in this slide. So to start with the preliminary project and concepts, so we have a wonderful tool called SolidWorks, Xshape, and XDesign. These two tools are a part of a platform which I'll just take you through for a couple of minutes to just give you an idea how SolidWorks is diversified in the solutions that are being provided today. And when it comes to the integrated mechanical and electrical design, SolidWorks follows always a parallel process of engineering. So you could have seen the typical process would be a serial process where once mechanical design is done, then they go for electrical integration, or even before the mechanical, there is a PCB which is already designed, and then they go for a mechanical enclosure building. So here in SolidWorks, it is in tandem, or let me say, it is in parallel. Okay, so there's there's no latency or any delays in exchanging the data or working with the latest data. So for that, we have SolidWorks CAD, which is the core of the complete platform, and SolidWorks PCB and electrical are for electronics development and electrical wire harnessing capabilities. And once the product is designed, design validation or testing is the most integral and important part of it, where SolidWorks simulation for structural analysis and flow simulation for CFD analysis, along with electronic cooling and plastics for injection molding, is available. Once the validation is done, and once the product gets through all the how it is intended to come out, and then starts the technical communication or the marketing collaterals that have to be built for the internal purpose, as well as for your approvals like design device history file, or DHRs, DFMs, etc. And for this, we have the technical documentation tools like Composer, which can provide you very high quality manufacturing documents like user manuals, or even it can be your assembly instructions, etc. So we'll see a few examples of that in the coming 1 hour. And inspection, when it comes to quality and manufacturing, we have SolidWorks Inspection, which streamlines your documentation process for your inspection or quality control. And we have SolidWorks CAM, which is again integrated with SolidWorks CAD. And SolidWorks MBD is the talk of the town now because of the model-based definition capabilities, where it helps you to it helps you to practice smart manufacturing techniques to eliminate the drawings, that is the 2D drawings, and focus on the complete 3D model even for the manufacturing process. And coming to the next one, DraftSight is the homegrown product of Dassault Corporation. This is a complete and complete tool for your 2D capabilities or 2D design capabilities, where it can help you to create your DXFs and DWG drawings for a layout for a product, which can be used for manufacturing, which goes normally into the CNCs. So all these capabilities are included in this DraftSight, and it is a high quality 2D tool, which you can definitely go and use it. And by doing all this, we tend to generate a lot of data, that is SolidWorks. So even when it comes to CAD, or it can be a simulation, or any part of it, data is captured every moment, and data is it is a very serious issue, data capturing in medical device industry. So to address that, we have SolidWorks PDM, which is product management, and then we also have SolidWorks Manage, where it is a process, project, item, and dashboards management tool, where you can manage your processes, resources, timelines, etc. We'll just take a look at how it can be done. And last but not the least, eDrawings, which is a very known, popular tool for viewing your designs without SolidWorks. So for example, your drawings, your 3D models, or it can be analysis results, or even MBD data outputs, which can be viewed in 3D and 2D as well in the eDrawings. And Visualize is a world-class rendering tool that is available within the SolidWorks platform, where you can use the existing data and create your high-quality renders. With this, this is just a brief of SolidWorks, how it can be, what are the SolidWorks solutions, and what are the different arenas where SolidWorks provides the solution for any industry that is available. So next, moving on with the initial visual roadmap. So this will be our focus of the day. where we'll for any product, it can be medical device or any other product. It starts from the RFQ process. It starts from the requirement collection from the market or from the customers, and then they go for a new product development. Before the new product development visions or actions, there is concept development or preliminary projects that have to be done and created. For this, we have a wonderful solution which I'll be taking you through, and then we will see the product development tools, where it includes concept design, detailed engineering, manufacturing drawing, assembly and documentation of it, and then we'll go for electronics design. And once we complete the now we have the complete model with us. Normally we do the validation, and then we'll see control, quality control, technical documentation, and how to create sales and marketing content to put your product out into the market very loud. Okay. With this, let us start with RFQ process. So typical RFQ process starts like this. The marketing or the sales people go out on the field. They collect they collect the requirements, and then send it to the engineering department. And also there will be a certain process where they'll have to start from the concept, or they can also, if there is any product that is already available, they can just directly go for manufacturing of it. And if it is a new product, then they have to start from the concept, collecting the requirement from different sources that is available. And SolidWorks Manage SolidWorks Manage is a tool which helps you to put all the processes for pertaining a project into place. Okay, let me just take you through a small a small workflow that we have created for a medical science department, or a medical what we have created for our internal use. Okay, so here we have different processes that can be controlled for different projects. As you can see, this is the life sciences project that we are working on, and here we have different stages of a project. Okay, here let us start from the request for quotation that comes from a marketing or a sales guy. Then we can directly take in where from the quotation we can prepare the bill of material, which is done automatically again, and then we can also link it to the quotation that is going to be sent out to the customer or electronically without any manual intervention. And then the engineering process starts once the quotation is accepted. All of these can be electronically done, and this is one workflow that is available for the RFQ, where it starts from the originator. It can be, as I told, it can be marketing or a salesperson. Then it goes for the preparation of the quote and the approval seeking of the BOM if it is generated, and then the quote will be prepared. And then if everything is approved, it will go to the project, assign, or if it is rejected, it will be closed. If this process basically occurs by the customer. If it is approved, then it goes for the project, and if it is rejected by the customer, then it will be closed, or there will be negotiation that will go on. Okay, so with this, let us start the request for quotation, preparing the request for quotation. Here I can just go and click on the new command, where I can directly get the complete the parameters for the requesting of quotation. And here the part number and a few of the details will be automatically filled, since it will be controlled electronically to avoid duplicate entries, and also avoid multiple entries of the same data. Okay, and then once it is done, we can here request for different devices a company will be producing. In this case, let us go with the ventilator, and we can also give the quantity required. So this quantity required can be changed at any point of time, and accordingly the bill of material will also change. So, and then we can go for the date. I mean, if it is required, we can fill all the information that is required. And then I'll go with the code preparation. I'll just go for the admin user. So this I'm using admin user because of the demo purpose. I am acting as all personnel, like I'm the marketer, I'm the designer, I am the manager, and all the roles will be held by me. And here I can just select any customer name and all the information related to that customer. If it is already available, it will already be built in. So I can just send it to the next stage, and there is a description required. So in the description, I can just select a portable ventilator, and I can send it to the next stage. S, and it will automatically start with the next stage. As you can see, we are already 25% of the progress is completed of creating a bill of material and the RFQ process. So similarly, we have different workflows for design approval and design how the project workflow has to be done, and where the approval starts, where the approval ends, and how the projects even the files move inside the organization. Here, if you see, if there is a new product development, how the products will be saved. And here are the different, here is the existing project that is being run in the company. And you can see different project managers who are responsible, and what is what is the status of each and everything in the dashboard as well. So when I go to the dashboard, I can see what is, I can just select any of the projects, and I can see the different timesheets that is available, where I can see how the process is now the process is being taken forward, and if there are any reports like DHF, DHRs, so all these things can be automatically generated. So DHFs or DHRs, when we talk about it, it is usually done in the last, where they keep the track of every history, and then it is being and then it will be collaborated within one document. So here is a small workflow of what we have created as, or captured as a video to save time. Okay. Here is a bill of material process. SolidWorks Manage can directly give you the complete bill of material. You can just generate the report out of the bill of material and generate a quote, which can be directly sent to the customer without any manual intervention if required. And then you can also once the quotation is prepared and the bill of material is ready, as I told, it can be sent for the approval process. And then once it is done, we can just start with the project details, where we can fill in the details who are responsible for what process, and then they can get started, where the project deliverables will be assigned and the dates will be assigned, and they can also keep a track on the timelines and the resources where it is required. So I would like to show one small timeline where you can see all the information that is related to the complete ventilator is available. What are the different tasks that are pending? What are the different tasks that are already been done? And what is the priority, if it is high, low, or medium? All these information that will be available automatically. And this is a timeline that I was talking about, where you can see what is the different processes and what is the time taken to complete each process. So this can be captured. At the end of it, we can have a quick review, and we can always stay ahead of the time, and the process can be completed well within time, and we can deliver the product. So SolidWorks Manage, this was just a brief of SolidWorks Manage. In the interest of time, pardon me if I'm going a little fast, okay, because we have only 1.5 hours, and when we have a lot of things to show. So SolidWorks Manage is a project and process management tool. You can manage your project timelines, resources, streamline the essential processes like creating your bill of material, electronically assigning electronically assigning the processes, and maintaining the complete project project files along with the templates. All these essential processes will be streamlined, saying that it will be managed by SolidWorks Manage. And you can also maintain your electronic DHF, DMR, DHRs, and revisions, which are most essentials when it comes to medical device industry. After all the regulatory compliances ask for these DHF, DMRs, and DHRs. And we can also start working in line with the FDA norms and regulations and rules from the start. Okay, right from the concept design and until the end of the product that enters into the market. So the next, once the complete requirement is collected, the next process will be for the new product development team to start with the concept design. right? So for this concept design, SolidWorks, earlier we used to have surface, we used to use surfaces and now create the concepts so that we can later on go and now make it as a part and use it for the manufacturing process. But now, interestingly, we have a very wonderful solution that is available as a part of SolidWorks portfolio, that is XDesign. So this is what I was telling about earlier, where the platform that I was talking, this is called the 3D Experience platform, which I'll not be going in very deep, but I'll just take you through a small interface of how it works and what are the different tools that are available. Okay, so when it comes to the 3D Experience platform, this is just like your Android platform, where you have the platform as Android and you have different apps to be used. Similarly, here 3D Experience is a platform and you have different apps for designing, analysis, documentation, and it is a collaborative environment which has the complete the complete data management tool inbuilt. Okay, PLM tool is inbuilt inside the 3D Experience platform. So here we can also use this as a communities tool, where we have just created a community to get started with the projects that are in line. And you can also share the community, share the information with your colleagues, with the other industry experts for having a discussion about how the product has to look and what are the requirements in the current market for that particular product, and what is the competition doing about this product. All those information can be exchanged, and that ability for the collaborative environment to have it on cloud. And to mention it, this platform is on cloud. This cloud-based platform. Okay, and when it comes to the tools, we have different roles that are available based on the role of a designer, whether he is a CAD designer or whether he's an analysis designer, CAE expert, or whether it's electronics designer. Based on it, we have segregated it into different roles, and once the roles are available, we can directly start using the tool. So SolidWorks XShape is a non-parametric modeling tool where you can create your organic shapes without much difficulty, because we have the capability of submodeling, sub-D modeling, or subdivisional modeling. Let us create a new component. So I was talking about subdivisional modeling, where we can use the subdivisional modeling to create organic shapes. Like it is just like a simple push and pull. Okay, it is just like a simple push and pull, and you will be able to create your components within no time, and you can come up with your concept within no time. So I think it is taking a little time. I have a video already recorded. Let me just go and show it to you. So in the meanwhile, let me just move on. Once it loads, I'll be able to show how the subdivisional modeling works within the XShape platform. And this XShape platform is also available along with SolidWorks. On the desktop model, it can be used once you are part of the 3D Experience platform, where you can exchange the data between XShape and XDesign. XDesign is also again a parametric tool that is available within the platform. So with the interoperability with the parametric design tools, it will always be very easy for the designers to communicate or move between the concept design and the new product design or the product development process. And with the collaborative environment, it is very easy to share the concepts and develop it spontaneously. Let me just check if it is opening. Okay, let us come back to that later. So moving on with the design part, once the concept design is done, the next process goes to the design development, where they start developing or designing the parts and bring it together within the assembly. So here, we all know that SolidWorks has strong surface the design capabilities, and there are different tools also available along with this, which are nowadays used vigorously in the design development process. for example, reverse engineering and also some productivity tools which are available inside SolidWorks. Okay, with this, let me just directly jump into SolidWorks and let us see few of the capabilities of SolidWorks quickly. Okay, this is the component. This is the product that we have built, that we have taken, and this is a ventilator, portable ventilator, and from this we have developed a part. So I'll be just showcasing this small plastic part that is available. Okay, with the small plastic, with all the high-end surface tools that are available within SolidWorks. Okay, we can now use the complete capabilities of surface tools, where we can have the ability to create the G3 continuity, where it is complete. We can produce high quality and high class surfaces with minimal efforts, and the best in class surfaces can be also be produced, where you will have a smoother curvature. So here I am trying to show the complete workflow what I have created, where to create the complete part. So I'm not going from scratch, because in the interest of time, we'll at least need 6 to 7 minutes to create this. So I'm just showing you how we have created this part by part process to create this particular handle part. Okay, we started from the surfaces, and if you can notice, we are now in the solid modeling part, where we could create where we could thicken the component, and we can continue with the complete process to build the complete part. And we also have some fastening capabilities that are already available. For example, if you have any fastening feature on a plastic part, like a mounting block or a snap hook or a vent or a lip or a groove, so all these are already available. And any features that are now commonly used, that can also be used as a design library tool, with the help of to help automation and to help save time when you are designing. So once the component is done, then we go for the drawings, which we'll take a look at it later. And once any part that is done, for example, in this case, this is a plastic part, and in plastics, thickness is one of the most important parameters that have to be considered, because thickness analysis for that matter. So normally, what they do is, once the component is done, without doing any thickness analysis, because of the non-availability of it, they directly go for the manufacturing. And then find out there are some deviations in the thickness, and which are not letting the plastic to flow easily. So for that, we can now in SolidWorks, we have the ability where you can directly do the thickness analysis on the model, and you can find out which are the thin regions and which are the thick regions. So in this, we'll concentrate on the regions which are lesser than 3 mm. So even if there are no changes in the thickness, it has to be gradual, as you all know, right? For this, we'll create a thickness analysis, and we'll see if there are any drastic changes in the thickness which will cause the part to fail. Okay. So once the thickness analysis completes, you will get the complete color coding scale, where you can analyze which is a thick part and which is a thin part, and you can change the designs accordingly. So if you can see, this is the region which is thin. It is almost 1.4 mm. So it is nearly half of what the original thickness, that is 3 mm part, is. So if you can find out if this is good to go, or if you want to change the complete design, or if you want to thicken this part to add more strength or more durability, and as well as prevent the part from failure. And talking about the failure of the part, I earlier told about the plastic analysis, so which is again included inside SolidWorks CAD. So once I do the thickness analysis, once the part modeling is done, I can directly switch to the plastic analysis within the same window without any efforts being done, and then we can directly take it and we can directly do the complete analysis for injection molding. So here I have created a solid mesh and applied the material. Let us directly go to the database and apply the material. Let me just take as ABS for the time being, and here I can give the complete fill parameters. If you are doing for filling only then we can give the melt temperature, mold temperature, and the injection pressure, and so on. And then once the parameters are set, here we can do for all three, like filling, packing, and wrap, so that we'll complete the cycle, and along with the cooling parameters can also be analyzed. So in this process, we'll just go and run uh, only for the flow analysis or the flow results. So once it is run, we'll just come back and see the results of how, as you can see, the complete mesh will be automatically done. And here we have both solid as well as shell mesh that is available. Okay. So once it is done, we'll come back and see how the results are available. And we also have reverse engineering tools that are available within SolidWorks, where we can import the complete STL files and mesh files that are available in different formats, and we can create surfaces and complete model from it. And now, from the last 2-3 years, there has been a lot of the improvements in the mesh modeling, and we are concentrating more on mesh modeling because every industry now is working on reverse engineering or the mesh modeling technique, and with the 3A and with additive manufacturing in race, mesh models are more evident in the design process. So SolidWorks has developed the complete tools that are required for the mesh modeling, where you can import your the mesh models and create the complete information that is required. I'll just show one example once this model is complete. So here you can see how the complete fill time and different results that are available can be analyzed, like the pressure at the end of the fill temperature, the bulk temperature, if there are any any other defects. Like the warp, if we create the warp page analysis, we'll be able to find out the warp in the part, and if there are any shrink marks, etc., can also be analyzed. So let me just wait for this to complete. So we can also build the cooling channels in case if you want to analyze the cooling parameters of the product, how the complete cycle cooling cycle takes place, because cooling consumes most of the time in the complete injection process, right? So we can design the cooling channels. We can also have gas resisted moldings. There are numerous capabilities of SolidWorks Plastics, but in this webinar, we are not concentrating on the complete thing. In the coming webinars, we'll be able to do a complete plastic analysis webinar, where it is completely concentrated on that. Okay. With that, with that, we can see the complete different results, and we can also have the complete information that is available. So, and it also gives you the results advisor advising whether the green, red, or orange. So showing that if it is if the part and the pressure and all the parameters are good to go, or if there is any change that has to be done in the part design or even in the settings, it will automatically show it, and it will also help the designers to learn the complete process of how it can be changed and other parameters. Okay. And with this, let us move on to the next part, as I was telling about the reverse engineering tool. So here is a mesh model which was imported, and we can import a wide variety of mesh models. This is a mask that is an integral part of the ventilator. Here I had an existing mesh model of a mask. So I want to make some minor changes to this and release it to the manufacturing. So here in the mesh modeling, as you can see, we have different set of tools that are available, like Decimate Mesh Body. So Decimate Mesh Body is something like something which simplifies your mesh model. As you know, mesh models will have thousands of faces, which will be very difficult to process for a system or a machine. So Decimate Mesh Body will reduce the number of facets and simplify by the percentage of bodies, which will help the workstation or a computer to process it even faster and even better. So this helps us to work with the model much easier. Okay. So once the decimate is complete, we can now use the native tools like trim surface or create the surface from the mesh model, and you can offset the surface and you can create the different parameters that are available. Okay, and then create the complete part for that matter. So once the part is ready, you can also compare the body with the mesh model and the SolidWorks created model, where it will automatically give you the difference between these two models and what are the deviations of the model. If you are very keen on maintaining zero deviation from the mesh model and you want to replicate the exact same part, then you can compare the body and see what are the different things, and you can also directly generate a surface from mesh. So I'm trying to show different tools that are available to work on a mesh model. I'm not taking you in depth of how to use these models, which we'll do simple or the different webinars or different knowledge sharing series for this uh, tool. Okay, in the design process, we saw a little bit of how the part modeling evolution happens from the surface to the solid, and then we can do the complete thickness analysis, which is a part of productivity tools to save time and to save the cost to the company. And again, where we can use directly the plastic analysis tool on the part without changing the platform or without changing the screen, with where we can optimize the design then and there for better product quality. And then we saw the reverse engineering tool that is available in the mesh models, that was imported. And we also saw some productivity tools thickness analysis, and we also have something called as undercut analysis, and different there are myriad tools that are available which can be used. Okay, so let me just move on to the design part of it, where we can create a drawing or solid where we can directly create a 2D drawing, or we can also create a 3D model with all the PMI data that can be used for the manufacturing process. Okay, so I already have a model that is ready with the data. So let me just close this part. So this data that is already available, that I have already built. This is the MBD data or the PMI data that is already added onto the 3D model. So MBD stands for model-based definition, where we can add the complete PMI data onto a 3D model and capture all the elementary views that are required for the manufacturing process. And we can also we can also take the outputs of these the 3D drawings or the 3D PMI data onto the 3D PDFs or 2D PDFs. 3D PDFs mean much more, where you can interact with the models. You can see the complete three-dimensional view of this complete model, something like this. Okay, so this is a 3D model where 3D PDF output of the same model, where we have different views that are captured, and we can see the complete. We can analyze the body, and we can understand much better than a 2D drawing, right? When you are working with such a output. So you can add the different notes, the bill of materials in cases of your assembly drawings. All these things can be added in your 3D model or the model-based definition process. Okay, and to create any drawing, this is simple. It is all simple. Let me just show one drawing which is already created in the coming slides. Okay. Also, this is a drawing that I've created. We can have the complete manufacturing, high quality manufacturing drawing with high impeccable views, or the section views that are required for the complete model to be understood. And then we can use the model based, and we can also foster the model based enterprise approach to practice smart manufacturing techniques inside the organization, because of the industry 4.0 and other technologies developing. So the model based enterprise, where the model is being centric for all the processes, whether it may be procurement to your AR and VR, and it can be documentation. 3D model plays a very important role in the coming years. So model-based definition will get you there, will get you ready for that particular arena. And moving on, we have some automation tools like DriveWorks Express and smart functions that are available when we are working with assembly. So I would like to show a small example. I will have to just hurry through this. Pardon me if I'm going very fast. And at any point, at any time, you can just call back or get back to us for deeper, to know deeper information of how this works. And I'm taking you through a small automation tool that is integral part of SolidWorks, DriveWorks Express. So this is a tool which works as a form-based tool where you can where if you have to build a small subassembly or assembly for that matter, you can have the master model and you can create the database that is required to add the different variables or the parameters. And then once you have added, you can create a form or an interface to select those parameters. So for example, I'll just give some information or the input, and SolidWorks will automatically start building the complete information, or based on the information, the complete model will be built. And here I can just select a pin. Okay, let me just select create, and we'll come back and see how quickly it is created. It is automatically, as you can see in this, it will automatically start building each and every element of the each and every element, and it will automatically give you the complete assembly along with the drawings, bill of materials, and all the supporting documents that are required for manufacturing and the complete process. So with this, we also have some smart functions where you can enable them to create the repetitive tasks like smart fasteners or smart components, where you can use them to create where you can use them in the assembly whenever it is required, along with the other components. Okay. So this is one example of a smart component that I was talking about when we focus on smart functions. Here we are interested to add the battery. Okay, so the battery assembly, along with whenever we add the battery, there has to be a casing, there have to be different paddings, and there have to be washers for the casing to be fastened to the body and all those parameters, right? So instead of me selecting all these parameters every time I create an assembly, which the battery is a constant battery in all my designs. So what I can do is I can build configurations for different sizes of the battery and different information, add the different information to them and into it, and then I can just add mated, and then as you can see, I once it is mated, I can just select the smart function. So when the smart function is selected, or the smart component, the parameter is selected, then it automatically asks you only for the faces. And once the faces are selected, it will automatically give you all the information, brings all the associated parts like this cover, all the washers, bushers, and screws, everything. It will be available in place without much of manual intervention. So this is the entire assembly of the battery. But we, as you saw, we did only the battery assembly. We did not incorporate all these components, which was done automatically when we selected the smart components. So all these smart functions help you to minimize the time that is required to elaborately do it in the design process, and to save time, as well as concentrate on productive processes. So with this, I would like to move it to Sindhu for electronic design, and then we'll see the analysis part of it.
Hi, good morning all. I'm Sindhu. So I'm application engineer for electrical and PCB suite of products. So today I'll be taking you through how to design the PCB for the ventilator, which was showcased in the earlier presentation. So to begin with, first let's see what are all the industry challenges which the electronic designers will be facing in day-to-day life. So the first thing, what electronic designer faces, lack of design visibility. That is due to different platforms where they design the schematic in one platform and the PCB layout in another. They do not have the complete design visibility how the process is going on. That is one of the main challenge. And then comes the library component management, where the designers has to look for what is the schematic symbol which they require, and to assign a particular symbol with correct form of footprint, and then to bring about the 3D model for the same footprint. That is one of the main challenge, where they'll have to look through different browsers or the different manufacturers, and they have to design the library. Next comes the issues in data import or the translations, like other formats. Say if the designer had few files which were designed in other tools, if they have to import and use it in the other tool, that is the major challenge, where the other tool will not give the extensions to import those files. So that is one of the main challenge. And then comes the electrical and mechanical team collaboration, where whatever the changes made by the electronic designer has to be viewed and reviewed by the mechanical designer, as this goes in one process where any changes made by the electronic designer needs to be accepted by the mechanical and vice versa. And then once everything is done, the last thing what the product should have is the quality and reliability. When it comes to cost, as the design process increases, the cost also increases due to rework. So we need to take care of all these challenges. So once we look through the challenges, let's see why SolidWorks PCB is essential or important. So here in SolidWorks PCB, there is high design visibility, where whatever the changes made or created in the schematic or the PCB layout, everything can be viewed by the mechanical designers as well, where the design visibility is very high. And then it is enhanced libraries and data management, where we have a customizable library where we can design our own symbols using Symbol Wizard, where we just need to give the number of pins and what is the type of pin layout style. So it will automatically create the symbols for us. And then we also have the footprint wizard, where we can generate the footprint wizard by giving the dimensions. And then we also have a database links, where we can just link the databases and get the informations. And then comes the native file exchange, that is through the import options we can import other files as well, like Allegro or Altium or Zucchine. All these tools, extensions, schematics or PCB layout we can import here and we can check. And then comes the real-time ECAD and MCAD collaboration. Here, in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll take you through how this ECAD MCAD collaboration works. And then, as the rework is reduced, we get a better quality, reliability, and cost-effective designs by using SolidWorks PCB. So let's see what are the key features of SolidWorks PCB. So here in the same platform, we can do the schematic capture, where we have the libraries assigned, and then we have the traditional 2D PCB layout, that is where we can place the components and get the PCB design done. And then not only the 2D PCB layout can be viewed, we can also have the 3D visualization in SolidWorks PCB as well, where we can look through how the 3D components are aligned or placed on the PCB board. And then comes the mechanical collaboration, that is with respect to the board fitment or with respect to any of the interference or collision happening. We can have the mechanical collaboration and check whether there is any constraints with respect to board. And then not only the mechanical collaboration, even the electrical integrations, like if we have any say wires or the ribbon cables to be drawn, we can also have the electrical integration with this. So let's start with the demonstration. So in the demonstration, we'll look through how we can do the schematic capture, that is how we can design the schematics with the help of SolidWorks PCB. Let's see how the collaboration takes place with respect to electronic and mechanical designers, and let's also see how to design the PCB board with respect with the help of collaboration. And then we'll see how the PCB layouts, that is placing the components, and how the routing could be done. And then we'll also see the deliverables like bill of materials or assembly drawings, which can be extracted. So here, this is the SolidWorks PCB interface, and this is the mechanical interface, where we have the ventilator design for which we need to get the PCB board shape done. So going to SolidWorks PCB, so here you can see this is the SolidWorks PCB interface. You can see both the PCB board as well as the schematics are in the same platform. So here, as I told, this is the library which we have. So if we have any other files of libraries, we can just install it if we have a particular file with the extensions listed over here. So here we have certain libraries which are also listed here. So we can just go through the libraries which we require. So here I need a library management schematic library. So here I have a powerful searching tool where I can search for a particular IC. So here let's try to add a particular IC which I need. So I just need to double click on it and drag and drop the component. Also, if I want to adjust it, I can just drag and place it over here. So this is not just a dumb symbol or component. Here you can see what are all the designations or the descriptions which are assigned with it. Also, I can have the footprint which are linked to it. So I can link the particular footprint by looking or searching for the particular library. So here I can go through the libraries and I can assign the footprints. Along with this, as you can see here, here it is IC and a question mark, which says there's no annotations which are done. So to do the annotations for each and every component for this particular schematic, it takes a lot of time. So to avoid that, we have annotation here. So here, based on the types of order of processing, we can just annotate by changing or updating the list. So it will give you what are all the engineering change orders which could be done. So once the changes is made, it will automatically get the annotations done for this particular component. And also we have a something called supplier links where we can search for the particular component online. So here, based on the manufacturer, supplier availability and the cost of the particular symbol or the component, we can just go through that particular, say it is Mouser Electronics. So I can go to their websites and I can purchase the component with respect to certain part number. So if we have already placed the symbols in the schematic, and once we get to know that that particular component is not available in any of the market, then we need to redo the designs or change some of the designs, so which is very tedious. So rather than that, we can just go through this, and based on the availability, we can continue with the schematics. As I told, we have import options where we can import the files of other tools. So I can just show you which are all those tools. So here you have these extensions like Allegro, Protel, Altium, Circuit Studio, Eagle Files, OrCAD, PPADs. So again, all these files can be imported here, and if there are any minute changes, you can change and reuse the circuit. And also, once we are done with the schematic, the main thing what we come across is the design rule checks which we have to take care. So here we have certain violations and the descriptions which are listed. We can, based on the type, we can just look for which type of reporting mode we require. So based on this, we can do it. And also, we have a connection matrix which will be taken care. So here also there are 4 types. So through which we can do the order of reporting. So as I told, so I'll be taking you through the video which I have done for the same design. So due to time limitations, I'll be taking you through the video how exactly this process works. So once the violations with respect to schematic, everything is done, next main challenge what we face is the PCB board with respect to the 3D model which we have to take care. So as I told, SolidWorks PCB offers the PCB platform in the same single platform. So here, this is the collaboration panel. So this is a collaboration panel which helps you to share the board along with the board informations. So here I can post whatever the informations I want to give. Say, let's say I want to communicate to the mechanical designer in getting the board shape, like saying this is a default board shape. So when it comes to mechanical platform, here there is an add-in called SolidWorks PCB add-in. So through this, we will be able to view the projects which are listed or which are carried out in the PCB, and the mechanical designer with information what he has got, he can access that particular project and pull the board over here. So here you can save the board and with the help of mechanical interface with respect to the board shape giving certain clearance, I can constrain the board where I want to constrain it with respect to this particular model or where I need to place the board. I can just get the board over here, constrain it with respect to any of it, and then I can align it and edit the board to get the required board shape. So it is not that electronic designer can do. It's just that if the board is very complex, it takes much more time for electronic designer to understand the dimensions and do the board shape. Rather than spending much of time over there in the mechanical platform itself, the mechanical designer can get the board shape done in very lesser time, in a minute or two. So here you can see by editing the board shape and specifying the board shape or the required board shape, within few clicks, the mechanical designer was able to get the board shape done. And whatever the board shape which was got in the mechanical interface, the same board shape can be seen in the main model also, or the parent model, and then the mechanical designer also communicate the same or any of the information to the electronic designer. So here he communicates saying this is the board shape done or which is ready. So the same thing will be viewed by the electronic designer with a notification. So here electronic designer will have the access whether he can accept or deny those changes whatever is listed. So once the board shape is done, the next thing is to get the components onto the PCB board from the schematic. So we have engineering change orders where we can accept those changes, and once it is done, we can place the components. So after placing the components, next thing is he has to, or the electrical designer has to communicate to the mechanical designer saying the components are placed, whether if there is any collision or interference, just check for those interference. The changes will be detected in the mechanical interface as well. The mechanical designer can accept those changes and view where exactly the components are placed. Here it's the electronic designer also can fix few components. As we all know, we'll have even the electronic designer will have few constraints. So based on that, he can pick the component. So the mechanical designer cannot move or change the position of the component. So here you can see there are a few components which are already placed. So the same thing was got onto the mechanical platform, and here the interference check is being done. So here you can see there is a screw on which the component is placed. So the position of these two components need to be changed as per the interference check which was done. So here with the help of mechanical, the component's position can be changed, and then the same thing can be communicated to the electronic team as well. So it is one-on-one conversation which is happening in the same thing, where the designer just need to accept or deny the changes. So here you can see the animated view of the, so here we can view the animated view as well, and we can check the changes. Once the changes is done, the last process is to do the routing. So here we have three types of routing: interactive routing, differential pair, and also multi-routing. Along with that, we have auto route, where it will automatically route based on the parameters set or the rules defined in the PCB layout. So we can define, as we define the rules in schematic, we can define the rules for the PCB as well. So once the routing is complete, the information is communicated to the mechanical field or the mechanical designer. So he'll just place the component or accept those changes, and the same thing was placed on the mechanical design as well, or the model. So next comes the electrical. This is the electrical interface which SolidWorks offers, that is SolidWorks Electrical. So here here I need to cable or wire two connectors. So with the help of mechanical SolidWorks Electrical, I'm able to get the designs done using a particular manufacturer part, and assigning it with a certain 3D models, and drawing the wires with certain diameter bent radius with respect to the design. I can get the wires also. So here you can see I'm just assigning which are all those two connectors. So once the connector is assigned with a particular 3D model, with the help of SolidWorks Electrical 3D, we will be able to get the automatic routing which could be done. So here we have route wires, route harness, and cables based on the type of cable, whether it is a cable or harness design or a wire. We can just select it. We can give the informations required and get the routing done in very lesser time. So you can see based on the vent radius and the color code, whatever represented in the 2D, the same thing will be reflected. So once the design is done, at last, as I told, we need to get the deliverables. So here, with the help of SolidWorks PCB, we will be able to get the bill of materials, then documentations like schematic prints or PCB prints or videos we can run, and we can generate it as well. When it comes to fabrication, we can get the Gerber files, GerberX to NC drills, ODB++ files as well. And we can also generate the assembly drawings, test point reports. Also, we can place coffins, and then we can also get the we can export it to STEP, Parasolid, and other formats. Also, we can get the AutoCAD, DWG, and DXF files. So with respect to bill of materials, we'll be able to add the columns. So based on the types required, we can just check in the columns so that it will be listed in the main document. Also, we can get the file formats in .xl, XLS, and XLT formats as well. So due to time constraint, I had to rush through the demonstration. So if you want to know or have the brief demonstration, you can just enter it in the mail so that we can get back to you and give a complete demonstration on this. So with this, I would like to conclude my session on SolidWorks PCB and a little of SolidWorks Electrical. So I'll be handing over this to Mr. Shrishel, who will be taking you through the validation part.
Thank you, Sindhu. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me just start it. Okay. Once again, I would like to thank each one of you who have joined this webinar on SolidWorks for MedTech industry. Thank you, Prithvi, and thank you, Sindhu, for your presentation. In next set of presentations, I will be taking you through the capabilities of design validation solutions that are present in terms of SolidWorks simulation, SolidWorks flow simulation to address various design challenges in MedTech industries. To quickly refresh the design challenges which we majorly face as a medical industry, as already explained by Prithvi, wherein the shorter time to market, there has to be more innovation in our product design, the quality and safety, durability and reliability, and strict regulatory norms from FDA. And the last but the most important, we have to keep the total cost of a product to a minimal and without compromising on any quality. Okay. I'll be taking you through the capabilities of SolidWorks validation tools to address some of these challenges. Okay. Before that, let us understand what is the importance of virtual testing or simulation. When you look at the a traditional new product development process, validation and prototyping is basically done at the end of a new product development process. At this point of time, for example, what if your product fails during testing or during prototype testing? And if you want to make any design changes at that point of time, all you need to do is you need to come back. You need to start your design work right from the scratch. Instead, if you have design validation solutions or virtual testing capabilities, you can start validating your products in a very earlier stage of a product development, so that you will be able to make any changes to your design without even producing a single prototype. That is how simulation solutions are powerful in today's scenario. And not only by doing this, your design is not only better, you will be able to reach market at a very faster rate. That is how SolidWorks simulation helps in terms of reducing the total product development time and the total time money spent on your earning product development process. And in terms of design validation solutions, which we are concentrating on medical electronics today in terms of taking into the effect of heat transfer, because when you look at a medical electronics, there are a lot of electronic components like printed circuit boards, various heat sinks, various capacitors, resistors. They themselves produce a lot of heat, right? When it is in a working condition. So to keep your entire medical electronics to optimal temperature level, there has to be a proper cooling methodology has to be adopted. And how do we address those cooling methodologies can be seen here in SolidWorks validation tools. And we also take into the consideration structural analysis, that is a strength analysis of your entire product under these static and dynamic loads, and the plastic manufacturing process, which Prithvi has already explained in terms of injection molding. And the most important thing in design validation is how do we optimize our design? How do we get the best out of different alternatives which you have without even producing a single prototype? Okay, and to address all these various, thermal simulation in terms of a medical electronics, SolidWorks simulation offers you a solution called electronic cooling system, where it contains the library to simulate, virtually simulate the behavior of almost all of the electronic components that we use in our medical electronic components, whether it might be a simulation of your heat sink, whether it is a simulation of your fans, printed circuit board, heat pipe, thermal joint, contact resistance, any other parameters which are related to any electronic component design. All these things can be virtually simulated using the extensive library that is present in terms of electronic cooling system. And some of the important components of electronic cooling system is a heat pipe. If you see today, a lot of people talk about compact electronic devices, and for these compact electronic devices, the most efficient method for keeping your system under optimal temperature level is the heat pipe. And SolidWorks electronic cooling system module has the capability of virtually simulating the behavior of any type of heat pipe that is being used in a compact electronic devices, whether it is a consumer electronics, whether it is a medical electronics, whether it is a military electronics, no matter whatever it is, and we can virtually simulate the behavior of a heat pipe that we use in our electronic design. And the no electronic component is complete without the proper representation of PCB component. We need to define how many layers that particular PCB is made up of, what percentage of a conducting material is there, what percentage of a dielectric material is there. Those parameters have to be properly defined to get the proper temperature distribution across the printed circuit board that we use in our electronic system. And similarly, the two register components capability is also present in electronic cooling module to consider the effect of various integrated circuits by just giving the properties like resistance between the junction to board, resistance between junction to case. You need not have to model very complex electronic components. You just have to give properties to virtually simulate their behavior. And the most important part of a cooling system, see, whenever we see any of the electronic devices, the most common method to cooling method is by making use of fans, right? Whether it is a radial fan or axial fan, the exhaust fan or inlet fan. So the most commonly used force cooling method is by making use of a fan. And the SolidWorks flow simulation has extensive library which contains all the necessary information about the all commercially used fans for keeping your to design your electronic enclosure. And to have a proper ventilation inside the electronic component, you need to have some vent holes or perforated plates, right? And by making use of these library components in SolidWorks flow simulation, you need not have to do a complex geometry which contains multiple holes or multiple vents. All you need to do is you just make use of the library components and just select the flat face and just say this is going to be my perforated plate, or this is going to be my vent holes to keep for the ventilation purpose inside electronic enclosure. And to explain all the parameters which I have shown, and to explain about the library, extensive library of electronic cooling module, I'll be taking you through the example of this ventilator design, which Prithvi and Sindhu have explained in their presentation in terms of CAD and in terms of ECAD and MCAD integration. To keep the things very easy to understand, I'll be taking this particular circuit from this ventilator design, and I will be doing thermal management analysis for this particular circuit. Let's take a look at SolidWorks flow simulation. This is the part I'm going to consider, and let me just take you through this. And this is basic graphic user interface of SolidWorks, which Prithvi has already explained. And a SolidWorks flow simulation, or any SolidWorks simulation or SolidWorks plastics, are just add-on to your existing CAD system. That means there is a very good integration between your CAD systems and your design validation solutions. You need not have to switch between the windows to do 3D modeling or to do any kind of virtual testing. All you need to do is you just have to take an add-in which basically sits on your CAD system. Okay, let's start creating a new thermal analysis. For this, you just have to do is go to the new study, and you just name the project and select the system of units and what type of analysis it is, whether it's the internal analysis or external analysis. Since it is a thermal analysis, I'll be taking heat conduction in solids, and if you have any radiations, if you have transient analysis, if your model contains rotating regions, everything can be selected in the initial settings. With that, I'll be taking air as a fluid reference for this application, and SolidWorks flow simulation comes up with a rich library which contains all the information about commonly used gases, liquids in terms of your fluid dynamic analysis. And similarly, it also contains all the information about commonly used engineering materials with all the thermal properties which are necessary to simulate the behavior of your thermal analysis. And finally, the initial conditions, which is pretty much important, because sometimes your medical electronics or any other electronic components needs to be tested under different environmental conditions. To simulate that different environmental conditions, all we need to do is we just have to enter the pressure and temperature values for that particular environments. Also, there is a capability wherein you can directly select the altitude for different electronic applications. If you want to check under different altitudes, you just have to mention that altitude. Respective pressure and temperature values will be automatically populated for your simulation. And after that initial setup, you just need to give some boundary conditions in terms of a PCB. Since this particular component is a PCB, I'll be taking it as an 8-layer PCB with all the properties that are already there in my library. And similarly, I'll be able to add the various boundary conditions. Since it is a thermal analysis, there are so much of heat is being generated. You can give a temperature input in terms thermal inputs in terms of a temperature or in terms of heat transfer rate, that is watt per meter cube, and also you can give the input in terms of watts. All three types of commonly used thermal boundary condition capabilities are already there in SolidWorks flow simulation, which we can just make use of. Similarly, I have given some of the temperature boundary conditions, some of the heat generation boundary conditions in my electronic component. And I'm going to use forced convection for this particular application, and to simulate the behavior of a forced convection, I have taken a fan as a forced cooling medium. And to simulate the behavior of a fan, as I was telling, SolidWorks flow simulation has an extensive library which contains all the information about your fan curves for commonly used commonly used fans in electronic cooling system, which contains the necessary information, which is basically going to be an input for your electronic cooling module. By giving this particular fan curve, it just simulates the behavior of the fan that you are using in your device. I'm going to use an exhaust fan, the inlet fan, which is placed outside. And similarly, I'll be making use of a perforated plate. For example, this is going to be my perforated plate, and I'm not going to make any complex shape here. I'll just select this flat face, and I'll just say there are round holes, and I'll define how many number of holes are there, what is the diameter of each hole, and what is the free aspect ratio. Those many parameters you just have to define here, and it will automatically understand there should be a proper holes have to be simulated here without the complex geometry. Without the complex geometry needs to be created. Okay, and the last thing in SolidWorks pre-processing is it is defining the goals. Defining goals is nothing but setting up the objectives. For example, what exactly I'm interested in this particular analysis. For example, I just want to measure the surface temperature, volume temperature, or global temperature, the fluid temperature of a fluid that is flowing around, and what is the pressure drop. Various parameters related to fluid dynamics and thermodynamics can be listed with so many parameters that are there in this global goal list. And after doing this, SolidWorks flow simulation is capable of creating automatic mesh. This is basically a finite volume method. It makes use of a finite volume method, and a Cartesian mesh is automatically being created. And if you want to consider some critical areas, it also has the capability to make a local mesh for that critical zones. And after that, you just need to run the analysis, and we have got very good post-processing features inside SolidWorks flow simulation, which is in terms of your cut plots. You'll be able to see how the temperature distribution is there throughout the plane. And I'll just take this particular plane, and you'll be able to see how the heat is getting transferred between the fluid that is flowing inside this enclosure and the solid components that are present. You will be also able to animate this particular cut plots to properly visualize how the heat is being transferred, and how your system is kept to a very optimal temperature inside this enclosure. Similarly, it has got capabilities of your surface plots. If you are interested in any of these surfaces inside this electronic enclosure, you will be able to see where is the hotspot, and how do I place the heat sinks to keep your enclosure to an optimal level. And finally, there are something called flow trajectories, which helps us to visualize basically how dynamically the interaction between the air that is flowing inside this electronic enclosure, how this is picking up the heat from the system, and how it is keeping your systems under optimal temperature levels inside your medical electronics or any electronic component for that matter. Okay. And finally, you can list the goals that we have set while doing a pre-processing, and you'll be able to see what is the temperature of particular component or any surface parameters which you have selected. All can be seen here. And also, if you want to make any changes, for example, instead of inlet fans, I want to place outlet fan, that is exhaust fan. What is the effect of using exhaust fan? Whether inlet fan is good or outlet fan is good. Such a what if scenarios can be done using SolidWorks flow simulation. All you need to do is you just have to clone this study, and you just go to the fan settings, and instead of inlet fan, here you can select this is outlet fan. That's it. Remaining all the boundary conditions, all the material properties, all the mesh settings, goal settings, everything is remain intact. all you need to do is you just have to rerun the analysis, and you will be able to see what is the impact of using outlet fan instead of inlet fan. This is one such example in terms of doing a what if scenario. You will be able to do a lot of what if scenarios in terms of placing different types of fans, in terms of placing heat sinks, in terms of designing various types of heat sinks, various types of ventilation system. All these different what if scenarios can be done without even developing a single prototype. That is how these virtual validation is powerful in terms of getting you the best design the first time and every time. Okay, this is something which I have extracted here in terms of the thermal surface plots, which I have already shown in my demonstration using SolidWorks flow simulation. You will be able to see how where are the hotspots and how can we design proper heat sinks to keep your products under at a very good optimal temperature level inside your electronic enclosure. Here are the cut plots. You'll be able to see how the interaction between the air that is flowing inside the electronic enclosure can be visualized. And here are flow trajectories, which we have seen how you'll be able to dynamically visualize the things. And I also shown you the results of outlet fan and what is the impact of using outlet fans, what are the change in temperature, and what are the change in hotspot locations can be visualized here with some of the animations which I have extracted from the SolidWorks flow simulation. And I also done some of the comparison study between outlet fan and inlet fan. If I use outlet fan, how is the things getting changed? This is one such what if scenario which I have shown here. And you can do multiple what if scenarios to get the optimal design. Okay, here are the results which I've extracted. And the main advantage of using SolidWorks flow simulation is basically CAD integrated. As I said, the moment you make any changes in your CAD design, those things will be automatically updated in your simulation study, and you will be able to find hotspot region, and you will be able to choose the right cooling method by doing what if scenario, and you will be able to get optimized design the first time and every time. With that, I would like to say, CFD has been traditionally used at the end of a development process for just validation purpose. And today, if we see a lot of industries who are into medical electronics, consumer electronics, they have started integrating their design validation process along with the CFD in a very earlier stage of a new product development process, which helps them to make design changes without even producing a single prototype. And a lot of companies have realized the benefit of a SolidWorks flow simulation, how it helps in terms of doing the what if scenarios, how it helps in terms of getting your optimization, how in terms of choosing the best out of best designs that are there with you. And to address various medical challenges, SolidWorks has different capabilities to do linear static analysis to basically calculate stress, strains, factor of safety for the components that you use in your medical devices. And then it has also have the capability of vibration analysis to calculate more frequency, resonant frequency of the structures, which are quite critical in terms of some of the medical devices like this CT scanner. And we have got capability of a fatigue analysis to basically calculate durability of a product, and fluid dynamic analysis to check the behavior of the fluid that is flowing inside the devices, and in terms of designing a proper cooling system for medical electronics. And there is a capability of non-linear analysis, and there is a capability of dynamic analysis to basically test the impact stresses by making use of a SolidWorks simulation solutions. Here are electronic cooling module, which I have already explained. And then we have got heating, ventilation, and air conditioning module, that is HVAC module, to properly design the ventilation system, air conditioning system inside a medical cabin to keep decide upon the human comfort parameters inside the medical cabin. And also we have got a plastic mold flow simulation capabilities, which Prithvi has already explained, to basically check any defects in the plastic components, because a lot of the components are made up of plastics in medical devices. So it is very much important for us to know, see whether any sink marks or any air traps, weld lines, even before producing a prototype. Okay, this is a complete product matrix of design validation solution, that is SolidWorks simulation. This is finite element analysis capabilities, and these are CFD capabilities, and this is plastic injection molding. This is mold flow analysis capabilities. With that, I would like to conclude my session on design validation solution, and I would like to hand over my this session to Prithvi to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Srishail and Sidhu. We are remaining with quality control, technical documentation, and sales and marketing, how we can produce these high quality renderings and how high quality documentation required for the marketing purpose. So before that, I was talking about X-Shape, and for some issue we could not start it. So X-Shape, as I was telling, is a parametric modeling tool where we can do the organic shapes, and we can also import any images that are available. So anytime if you have any reference images or sketches that are available with you, you can directly import it into the X-Shape arena, and then you can start with the sub-D modeling. So once the import is done, so what I can do is I can build. As you can see, this is a sub-D modeling, and we have different shapes that are already available. There are predefined shapes, for that matter, that are already available, and then which can be used to customize to according to the length, height, width of the shape or the image. In this case, what we have done is we have imported the image, and then we have made the changes that are required. So we can also change the number of facets that are required on each face or each side, and then we can segment it on any number of segments that are required. So based on that, once it is done, we'll get a normal or a preliminary shape that is available, and then we can easily push and pull, as you can see on the screen. And this is how easy it is to use X-Shape to create your concepts or organic shapes, the preliminary shapes that are required for the project or the product development to progress. So once it is done, once we have the shape that is available or that is required, or the preliminary shape that is required, then we can always improvise on this and improvise on the design that has to be done based on the feasibility of manufacturing or the BFM process or any other process for that matter. And as I was talking about the interoperability, okay, once the component is saved, we can directly go to the parametric design modules like XDesign, which is also a part of 3D experience platform, or we can go to SolidWorks desktop model. And we can do the parametric modeling like cutting, extruding any material, or cutting or creating holes, or adding any other material for that matter. And as I was telling, we have inbuilt control for revisions and the revision branches. Everything is inbuilt within this platform. So there is no additional tool that is required when you are working with the 3D experience platform. Once it is done, we can directly go to the XDesign, and just by selecting the X key on your keyboard, you will be transported to XDesign platform or the desktop SolidWorks desktop platform for that matter. So you can choose between the tools that are available within your reach, and then you can start using the parametric modeling. In this case, we have to create a cutout, and we also have to create a boss extrude for the pipes to be inserted. So this this is an example of how you can use both the parametric and non-parametric modeling techniques together in a single platform to streamline your development process, to streamline or streamline your the product development, and also you can save a lot of time in this way of approach when you're doing it. So you can directly do the parametric modeling with all the sketch capabilities that are available with like the native CAD itself. Okay, so this is how the XDesign on 3D Experience platform works. Maybe if we have time in the coming days, we will definitely do a detailed webinar on this as well for to share more information about this. So next, moving on to the quality control, as I was talking about inspection in my starting slides. So this is one of the very high productive tools that SolidWorks has, because we can save a lot of time, more than 70% of the time where that is consumed to creating all these documents manually. So everybody does it manually, like ballooning using a stencil or a color pen, and then transporting all the information into an Excel manually. So all these things will take a lot of time. But SolidWorks inspection is an integrated tool. Again, with SolidWorks, all you have to do is to just create a drawing, and then you can run the inspection project onto your drawing. So every balloon will be captured, every dimension will be captured, and all the information can be directly transmitted and created as an Excel report with any template that is required of your choice. Yes. I'm sure like aerospace industries and automotive industries, even medical industry will have its own first article inspection report or any inspection report, right? So that can easily be integrated into the inspection tool, and you can directly use it for creating your documents. So there are several use cases where we have the evidence where we can save up to 75% of your time compared to the earlier traditional process or any other tool. Even if any other tool is being used, you can save up to 75% of time, since this is an integrated platform, and you can reduce errors and rework. And most importantly, if you have any CMM machines available, you can directly import the data into the FIRs or the first article inspection reports. Coming to the technical documentation process part, where we have two unique products, Composer and Visualize. Composer is used for user manuals, creating your user manual, service instructions, and assembly instructions, and animations that go with the model or go with the product. Okay. Typically, this model had around 300 pages of document. Okay. 300 pages of document with the complete text and line diagrams and other step-by-step process. But we try to convert the complete 300 pages document into a video for each and every each and every module. So for example, this is the replacement of your main body. Okay, removal or replacement.
Hello, sorry to interrupt. Prithvi has just lost internet connection, so I'm taking control over. That is all about the various design solutions which we have design in terms of CAD design, design validation, ECAD, MCAD integration, technical documentation, surface modeling, and so on. Okay, if you have any questions later point of time, please let us know. You just write a mail at info@beacon-india.com or tech support@beacon-india.com. So we'll be in touch with you. And if you would like to know more about our products in detail demonstration, please write a mail to us. We all are working from home. All technical engineers from Beacon are working from home at any point of time. If you need any kind of support, please keep us informed. Okay. Once again, I would like to thank each one of you for joining this webinar, taking your time out, and thank you so much.